Sonic Frontiers: The Final Horizon absolutely destroyed people's expectations when it was first released. Many people have given their thoughts on this free DLC, and opinions vary. But today I've decided to do just that and take some sort of deep dive on why Sonic Frontiers: The Final Horizon has changed the course of Sonic games for good. So without further ado, let's begin. First off, let's take a look at the new characters in this DLC. And in order of gameplay, we have Amy, Knuckles, Tails, and then Sonic. This order gets repeated only once, and both times you have to do essentially the same basic tasks. For Amy's segment, you have to talk to both the Elder and Hermit Kocos with enough Koco to unlock them. Once you've done that, the game switches over to Knuckles' segment, which involves you finding two special Koco tech hybrid things and then punching them. Afterwards, the game switches over to Tails' segment, which is basically the same as the other two segments, except you have to find and hack a Koco with a computer screen. Last is Sonic's segment, but we'll circle back to him later. Now, on paper and in practice, this is a pretty solid gameplay loop, and it's actually pretty fun for the most part. But sadly, the characters you actually play these game segments with range in quality. Amy is surprisingly the most fun to play with, despite her not actually using her hammer for more than 2 moves, and is also the most polished one out of the newer characters, all things considered. Knuckles is overall pretty meh, and used to turn like a tank when gliding until they patched that. And Tails is by far the least fun and least polished of the characters. Pretty much until you get the Cyclone, you can expect traversal to be annoying at best and mildly frustrating at worst. And that's because he's the only character without a homing attack. Heck, he's more or less worthless until you unlock the ability to use his wrench attack. To be fair though, Amy and Knuckles are basically the same when you first get them, so... Yeah, if you couldn't tell by this quick rant here, Tails is my least favorite. Just felt the need to clarify that. But anyways, the multiple playable characters in this DLC pretty much ended up being a giant meh. Which kinda sucks honestly, since they were the main draw of this DLC and all. But thankfully, that isn't all that this DLC has to offer. Alright, time to talk about Sonic's segments. They mainly consist of doing the 4 trial towers scattered across Uranus Island, which you unlock by collecting these new Koco called Lookout Koco. Once you have enough of said Lookout Koco, you climb one of the towers and take on the trial at the top. Like the towers on Rhea Island, you climb these towers by doing a platforming section all the way up the tower. Unfortunately, also like the Rhea Island towers, these ones could have benefited from a few checkpoints. Admittedly, these towers range from mildly challenging to mildly hard. But if you like the platforming, they're pretty decent. Now 3 of the towers trials are pretty easy despite the climb to get up to them. However, the final trial, which is the Master King Koco trial, is, let's just say, humbling. The Master King Koco trial, like I said, is the final trial in the game before the final boss. And when I say before, I mean like right before. Like it's literally the last thing you do before the final boss. And it's a boss rush with your stats reverted to level 1 against all 3 of the previous titans. It is cool and decently fun when played on either easy or medium difficulty. But unfortunately, it is hampered by the addition of the perfect parry, which up until recently was quite literally a frame-perfect parry on hard mode. But overall, in spite of this is a quite thematically well-tied-in piece of gameplay for a free DLC update. Unfortunately, like I said, the frame-perfect parry made the execution fall flat. But, one last but, it was totally worth it for the last thing this DLC has to offer. The final boss. The last thing to talk about is said final boss. And oh my god, this was awesome! This is what I mean when I say that this DLC has changed the course of Sonic games. The final boss fight has improved in so many ways compared to the base game. The base game only had like a Galaga shooter minigame as the secret final boss on hard mode, and on easy or medium mode, it was just a QTE. But in this DLC, they completely ditched all that and went for a full-on final boss fight that in my eyes is comparable to the likes of the perfect Dark Gaia fight from Sonic Unleashed. It has style, it has pizzazz, it has not 1 but 2 new super forms that are unique and we will most likely never see again. And best of all, it has ambition. On the whole, Sonic Frontiers is already pretty ambitious compared to everything Sonic Team has put together since Unleashed. But this DLC update, out of all things, a DLC update, is what really has made me realize that Sonic Team is all in now. And ever since this update, game quality has been going up, and Sonic as a franchise has had a reputation unlike anything he has seen since 2001. This is what that ambition has made. This is how this update has changed the future of Sonic games. And with that in mind, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Do you guys agree with me? Or do you think that Sonic Team still has a bit of ways to go before they are all in? Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.